I want to talk for a little bit about Robin DiAnngelo. Robin DiAnngelo, in case you don't know, is the woman who wrote the book White Fragility, and she is an anti-racist expert. She is beloved by a lot of educators, fellow teachers, and she also demands a 5-figure income just from one speaking gig. So she is very in demand right now, and I think it's important to understand a bit about Robin DiAnngelo. In the past, I have been very critical of her and said some things that weren't very nice, like she is dumb or something like that, and I was wrong. Robin DiAnngelo is not dumb. The mistake that I made is very similar to the insults actually thrown at our president. I am going to make a comparison that's going to confuse a few people, and I am going to compare Robin DiAnngelo and Donald Trump because I believe they're actually very similar. Scott Adams said Donald Trump is a genius clown, and I think that that's pretty accurate. Barbara Corcoran from Shark Tank said that he is the best salesman she has ever seen in her life. What's interesting is the political right thinks Robin DiAnngelo is an idiot and completely off and completely ignorant to a lot of reality. And the political left thinks the same thing about Donald Trump. So, what do they have in common? Well, they're both highly skilled swindlers. Now, this is very clearly just my opinion, and I welcome all pushback. But Robin DiAnngelo is essentially a snake oil salesman, as Donald Trump is. But Robin DiAnngelo is selling snake oil. Robin DiAnngelo is essentially a snake oil salesman that is using her intellectual abilities to swindle people into believing her nonsense. A snake oil salesman, if the snake oil was causing massive civil unrest and divisive, harmful policies. That's what I believe Robin DiAnngelo is, and I believe that people are buying it. A major part of White Fragility is essentially setting up what is called a Kafka trap. A Kafka trap is a situation where if you ask someone if they are guilty and they say no, that is proof of their guilt. If they say they are guilty, then that is proof of their guilt. So White Fragility, the way that it is structured throughout the book is everyone is racist who is white because you are taking part in a systemically racist system. So if you admit that you are racist, then you are on the right path to fix it. If you are not admitting that you are racist, which everyone is racist according to her book, everyone white is racist. If you do not admit that, then that is proof of your racism. If you do admit it, then what you need to do is do the work to get over that racism. Well, what is the work? The work is buy Robin DiAnggelo's products, have her come and speak for minimum $10,000 and have her direct you down the process of how to get over your white fragility. This is a money-making scheme, and it is working. It is not supported by any credible social science. She has not engaged with any kind of debate or discourse, any kind of pushback or critique of her work. She has been given a paved road, and she's becoming incredibly wealthy through this swindle. And that to me is quite scary, especially because her ideas are being promoted throughout the education system, and her book is sold out on Amazon right now. A time where we are at extremely divisive time. We need to be looking towards which way is going to get us out of this. And I believe Robin DiAnngelo is going to get us into a far more dangerous situation. So what I encourage you to do, if you are in a situation where you are pressed to read White Fragility or study Robin DiAnggelo's work, or she comes and speaks at your institution, what I recommend is that you read White Fragility and read it with a very critical eye. Be fair, try and think about all of her ideas, and then counter her book with the pushback. James Lindsay and the website New Discourses has a lot of breakdowns that are very critical of Robin DiAnggelo's work and White Fragility. And what I recommend is not to censor yourself from reading her book. I think you should read her book and then read all of the very well articulated critiques of her work. And then you make up your mind for yourself. It is a real mistake to just take what she writes in her book as being true without giving pushback, because truth holds up to scrutiny. And I think that she needs to have that pushback. Robin DiAngelo's work is coming to a school near you, and I think it is very important to understand who she is and the ideas that she's promoting. Don't take my word for it, but go into this with your eyes open.